Namaste, Hari Om. So I just wanted to talk very briefly about Vata dosha and what are the practical ways that we can manage this dosha that has a tendency to get out of balance, even when you're just doing something like, say, multitasking or eating at irregular times, or perhaps missing a meal, or just because it's cold, it imbalances Vata. So I'll refer to this very beautiful poster that you too can buy on ayurvedaposters.com, I believe is the website. Yep, there it is. And it's a very thorough poster on the teachings of Ayurveda. So this season, we're in December, moving into January, is Vata, right? So eventually it'll start moving more into the Kapha season, but really when it's cold, it's Vata. Kapha also gets aggravated by cool weather and more cool and damp. So if the weather is cool, cold, and damp, then it's going to be more Kapha. But in general, Vatas are very imbalanced by cold weather. So Vata dosha types, right, if it's your constitution, types would portray characteristics like very slim, having a hard time digesting food, maybe constipation. They can be easily agitated. Their skin is dry, their hair is dry, their stool is dry, right? They usually be attracted to dry foods, snacking type of foods, which will all cause a kind of imbalance. So I'll refer to my poster here. Things that imbalance Vata are dry land, dry weather, dry food, dry fruits, traveling. So being in an airplane, right? A tube in the sky is very Vata deranging. That's why a lot of people, when they travel, they get constipated because it's Vatagenic. It increases air and space. And this is what Vata is mostly made up of, is air and space. Fasting, cold weather, cold food, cold season, sleeping on the hard floor, fear, insecurity, loneliness, multitasking, high altitudes, astringent tastes, and beans. Also, over horseback riding is too much talking, and too much excess sexual activity. So what these things do, if you do these types of things, like eat dry food or live in the desert, it's going to increase the qualities of Vata, which are dry, light, cold, rough, subtle, mobile, and clear. So it's going to increase these qualities. And if you already have a lot of these qualities, and now you increase them by skipping a meal or fasting, right? Or you're freezing, you're not prepared for the cold weather, it's going to cause an imbalance. So now that air and space is going to go in excess, and it's going to cause things like I suggested, is constipation, or feeling spaced out, ungrounded. Again, like I said, you know, kind of like easily rattled. Perhaps we could say overly sensitive. He has anxiety, fear, insomnia, right, which is huge. Neuroses, stiffness in the joints, pain in the lower back, numbness in the skin, gas, constipation, we mentioned, nervousness, and ringing in the ears. So all these things can start to be a sign that there's too much Vata, there's too much air and space, it's going in the wrong direction. So how are we going to help, you know, balance this air and space in all of us, because it happens to all of us, in a way that feels, shall we say, kind of practical? Like maybe I don't have time to do, I don't know, a 45-minute yoga nidra practice every day. So what can I do every day to help manage this Vata that really gets, you know, how shall I say, overly sensitive to a point where it's hard for them to function. And if we're living in a time where there's a lot of fear, well, fear in itself is going to aggravate this Vata. So it's like attracts like. So the more that I connect to things like fear, right, like the news, the more that's going to increase fear in me. And then we're going to have a problem, or we call them issues. We're going to have an issue, and that could be something like more fear, which can show up as I'm so fearful, I can't even be in the world anymore, right? So I isolate. But we just said how loneliness, right? Loneliness, there it is, can imbalance Vata. So you can see how this can really snowball. So what am I going to do, right? Do I stop watching the news? Maybe you give it a break, right? But there's other things you can do as well. So something that's very important for Vata types, or you're just feeling a spike of Vata because of maybe current events, I don't know, maybe your situation, your condition, you're freezing, right? So something that Vatas need to really pay attention to is having a regular routine, something that is irregular. Vata is usually very irregular, so something regular is going to help counterbalance that irregularity of Vata. So maybe something regular I can suggest that you do is maybe get up at the same time every day, or maybe go to bed at the same time every day. Maybe you're going to do a very important practice for Vata types. Probably one of the most important practices is warm oil massage. I can't even tell you how extraordinary it feels to just warm a little bit of like sesame oil. Sesame oil is good because it's warming in itself. Its nature is warming. And then you warm that, so you give it like double strength. And then you put that warm oil all over your body. It's incredible, right? And then let that sit on your body for as long as you really want to, and then eventually you can take a shower and remove some of that oil. The three most important places to oil are the top of the head, the ears, especially for Vata, and the bottoms of your feet. So if you're like, Mary, I don't have time to oil my entire body, well then maybe you just keep a little oil next to your bed and you oil massage the bottoms of your feet before bed. But the warm oil massage we call Abhyanga is really incredible. So if you had a daily routine of Abhyanga, you would definitely see a difference in even just kind of your sanity. Keeping you stable, warm, feeling cozy, right? So if you are feeling a spike in Vata, anxiety, fear, irregularity, confusion, right? Maybe you're getting easily manipulated. I know that sounds strong. Well, also make sure you're wearing warm clothes, right? Wear warm clothes. Warm baths, absolutely. Eat fresh, warm, cooked food, absolutely. So Vatas really could benefit from learning how to cook. And I'll tell you my go-to, right? So I'm a mother, right? I have 2 kids. I'm busy just like you. We're always busy. So one of the most convenient meals to make, especially when it's cold out, is oatmeal. So you can use ghee, which is usually named the nectar of the gods. Use a little bit of ghee, put some spices in there so you can digest this food, like cinnamon, cloves, a little cardamom. You can use coconut sugar, you can use regular sugar, you can use maple syrup or jaggery, which is dried sugar cane juice, to sweeten things up. Add the oats, turn it around in that spiced ghee now, and then add some water, of course. If you like to eat nuts, nuts increase fat, obviously, which increase ojas, which help your nervous system stay calm and collected, and you're holding it together, right? So anything that's sticky holds it together, like pretzels. No, pretzels don't hold it together. They crumble, they're dry, they're very Vatic. Nuts, seeds, ghee, oats, milk, nut milk, things that are kind of sticky and heavy are really going to help balance Vata. You can add raisins, you can add dates, right? Make it as sweet as you want. Vatas do well with sweet, obviously good sweets like maple syrup or coconut sugar like I mentioned, or jaggery. And that is like so easy. It's so easy and convenient to just make oatmeal. Let's say you're panicking. You forgot your lunch and you have a quick lunch break. Well, the grocery store sells those, I think they're called Bob's Red Mill oatmeals, right? It's just oats in a cup, and then you just add the water, right? That would be a much better choice than grabbing chips, right? Or pretzels, or dried snacks, which Vatas are very attracted to. So try to eat warm grounding food. Khichdi or dal is another very easy, extremely easy, very easy, convenient food to make. But we can elaborate that on another time, or you can just look it up, khichdi. It's very simple. Okay, so what else? Avoid overworking. Avoid too much traveling. Avoid an irregular lifestyle or irregular eating habits. Okay? Try to prepare yourself for sleep. So it would be nice if you didn't just watch a movie and then go right to sleep. There's some preparation, even if it's just so minimal, where you just put a little oil on the top of your head, or a little oil in your ears, or rub your palms together with a little essential oil, sweet rose or sandalwood, and do that right before bed. That didn't take long, right? A couple seconds, and do that as a way to bring sattva and clarity to the mind. So it really doesn't take much, to be quite honest. You just have to do it. So I'm suggesting to you, do what fits for your lifestyle. Make it as easy and convenient as you can, but ideally be warm. Stay warm through warm oil massage, warm clothes, warm food. And last thing is the company that you keep, they should also be warm. Not temperature-wise, or they can be, but warm in terms of their personality, right? They're accepting, they're warm, they're there for you, right? They're not criticizing you and judging you and breaking you down, that they're comforting. Okay, so just a short little video on suggestions of how to balance this Vata that gets very light and overly excited, and unfortunately sometimes unnecessarily fearful. So stay warm, okay? Om Hreem Sum Sudyaya Namaha. Namaste.